Here are 6 no-skip albums from the 1980s. I'm Miles.
And I'm Mike, and this is the Riff Circle.
Folks, we're back with another round. Per your suggestions, we're doing 1980s today. So Mike and I each have 3 albums that we think are completely no skips. Every track has value. They're
Yes.
all from the 1980s. And listen, folks, we've said it before when we do the show, the No Skip show. We're not going to give you super obvious ones, right? Okay, we know that Ozzy Osbourne's Diary of a Madman is a No Skip album. We know that. So, like the bigger, more obvious ones, we're not going to dive into those ones. We're not going to do super obscure ones either, although that is coming. We did have a request for deep cut no skip 1970s. So subscribe because that's going to be coming out soon. And like this video if you like this sort of content because it lets us know that we should keep making these things. I love making them, so we'll probably keep making them anyway. But Mike, with that, I'm going to jump into the first no skip album I have for the 1980s.
Let's see what you got.
This is a tough decade for me. Okay, I'm a 1970s guy and a 1990s guy through and through. And what happened in the 80s is most of my 1970s legends turned into the 1980s kind of cheese factor. So the hard part is kind of navigating who did it correctly and who came out the other side of the 80s surviving. And I think this one does it perfectly here. Robert Plant's The Principal Moments. It's got that 80s sound to it. It's unmistakably 80s, but Robert Plant does a great job in the producer role, co-producer role, as easing back off the cheesy factor, but it's still got that 80s sound. So it's kind of fun. It's got some fun moments, some intimate moments. It's Robert Plant, it's got a little bit of everything. And a little known fact on this one, Phil Collins does most of the drum work on this one.
He did some heavy lifting in the 80s. There's a lot of albums in the 80s and 90s, early 90s that he was on.
You're absolutely right. And when Robert Plant did his North American tour for this album, Phil Collins did the drumming for that as well.
Oh, wow. Okay, interesting.
And when this came out, Phil Collins was a big name. So Genesis was taking off. Phil Collins had his own solo career taking off. And he's on record as saying, you know what, I liked being in the background, just doing the kit work. He was, I think, feeling a little bit of pressure of all the stardom. And he's stuff, on note saying it was nice to work in the background with Robert Plant on tour for that. So some awesome work on this one. There's not a track on here that's worth skipping. It's all worthwhile. So that's the first one here, Robert Plant, Principle of Moments. What you got for us, Mike? First pick.
Interesting. I'm gonna have to check those out. You're much more versed in the Robert Plant of that era. I am not at all, and
they're fun.
And I'll have to be honest, that's an album I have not listened to. I don't think I don't know if I've ever even played it one time. So I'm intrigued to go out now hereafter and put that on and sample it.
Yeah, it's my favorite Robert Plant album. I think.
Wow. Favorite solo.
Favorite solo album. Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty sure.
Wow. Very exciting. So I know we said that we weren't going to pick anything that was like a massive, obvious pick.
Already breaking the rules.
I would say this may be the most obvious pick, if you're familiar with this band. But this is The Cure, Disintegration. This album is it isn't one of those albums that you have to listen to start to finish. In my opinion, it is the epitome of a no skip album in the sense that the best way to listen to it is from start to finish, from the intro, the build of Plain Song, all the way to the final track, Untitled. Everything is very in its place. It's very cinematic and symphonic throughout the whole album. It's honestly tough. There's a lot of amazing albums from The Cure in the 80s. I mean, honestly, every album they released in the 80s is potentially a no skip album.
We really can't have an 80s 6 no skips without The Cure. So yes, it's a bigger one, but I'm glad you did it.
Yeah, it's really incredible how they made this album, and I think it's an awesome segue point. I mean, you can hear the band changing through each album up until this, but to me, this is like really kind of their big departure. They really made something massive with this album, and they had kind of samplings of it on the album, the couple albums leading up to it, where you kind of get some more of those symphonic, cinematic type songs. And this one really just kind of puts it all together, and it takes you on a journey all the way through it. And it still has, some big hits of theirs, Pictures of You, Love Song. I mean, there's definitely songs that are on this album.
Yeah, there's some big singles on there.
Yeah, that aren't just like songs that are part of some sort of like progressive work or some sort of concept album. Like there's definitely the major hits that are on it as well. So I think that's why it appeals to so many people. I think it's arguably their best album. I think depending on who you talk to, it's definitely in the top three, and then it's kind of personal preference and what you kind of your nostalgia level with the band. I guess you can kind of look at it from there as to
Yeah.
which album falls into place from that aspect. But that's my first pick, Disintegration from The Cure. So
Excellent pick.
1989, so late 80s there.
Yeah, late 80s. I'm going to go the exact opposite. I got one 1980 for my second pick. This band is defined in the genre in the eras that take place. So you have fans of this band that will live and die by the 80s stuff.
Yeah.
I myself like this band in the 70s. This to me was their last stand, okay? And that's Yes, Drama.
Oh, okay. Great album.
Cut from the master tapes by Kevin Gray. This one here, and it's not expensive. This is a
sounds
cheap.
amazing. I'm sure
It sounds incredible. This is a cheap audiophile grade. So if you are into cheap audiophile grade, this one here is excellent. The album is incredible. Yes, moving into the '80s, they just go full pop, synth pop into the '80s in
Yeah.
terms, Owner of a Lonely Heart, all that stuff. That came right after this. This is why I call Drama their last stand.
Mm.
The opening riff is the heaviest riff in their entire catalog. So the song is Machine Messiah. That guitar riff, when a song kicks off, you would swear you're listening to
Cool
Black
song.
Sabbath. You would
It's a
swear.
cool song.
It is a monster riff. And it's like, Steve Howe, where has that been for 20 years? But this here, there's some quirky Yes stuff on here, and you can hear some of that '80s stuff starting to ram its head through.
Hmm.
But it's a no skip album. It keeps all the '80s stuff at bay just one last time here for Yes Drama. So that to me is a 1980. It's a no skip album. I think it's one of their best. It's underrated.
Yeah.
Especially the track Machine Messiah, the opening track, is just brutal. It's so sick.
I do agree with you. I think it's an underrated Yes album, and crazy to think that that was the album right before they kind of took that pop
Right
turn.
before it all took off.
Yeah, yeah, you can tell they were getting into experimenting and seeing what the next sound would be, and there it
Yeah.
is. Segue album. I think the '80s had a lot of that for a lot of bands. Segue season.
Yeah, oh, for
D-
sure.
if you came before the '80s, I think there was a lot of experimenting and trying to find your way as you kind of went through. This next one, my next pick here, is kind of a unique one. So it technically falls into the '80s. It is a little bit of a loophole. So it's a live album.
Okay,
It's
I like it.
Frank Zappa guitar. So this album was recorded between 74, 76, and 84, I believe, but technically released in 88. So it is
Interesting.
technically an 80s album, although it does have some 70s work on it. It is a
I
compilation of live.
I'm throwing the flag on the play. I call that absolute cheating. I think you can have it the other way around. If it's recorded in the '80s, released in the '90s, you can put it
Some of
on.
it was recorded in the 80s. Half of it was. So it's through the 80s.
Oh,
So
you're
late 70s
skimming
through mid
close to the
80s.
sun here, but I'm gonna let it. I will let it slide.
This
Barely.
album, if you know Frank Zappa, you definitely know this album. If you don't know Frank Zappa, but you are into guitar work and rock and roll, this is actually an easy segue album to get into because he's got a lot of different eras with a lot of different.
A lot.
It gets kind of
He is
crazy.
genreless. He
Yeah,
cannot be contained, and he's an absolute underrated shredder, by the way.
he is. Yeah, he considered himself as a composer, not necessarily a musician. And there's a great documentary. I highly
Kind of
recommend
like
that
that.
too. But this is just a phenomenal. It's just insane guitar work through the entire thing. It's like I said, it's pieces of different live shows all put
Yeah.
together into one live work. You'll get blown away for every single track on it. I can't even name just one single track that I'd say, oh, this is great. And that's why I think it fits perfect in a no skip because you just put it on and you listen to it the
And
whole way
let it
through and you get
ride.
to experience a full gamut of all different types of guitar work, live guitar work, where you can feel him kind of he was very particular with how he did things, so everything was very planned out, although it feels natural and unique when he does it, which I think it kind of speaks to his composer-esque about it. So you hear it and you're like, wow, that was kind of a cool riff to kind of play off of this one. Well,
Yeah.
he planned that beforehand. He was very meticulous like that,
Yeah.
but made it still feel natural, and that's why I think something like this is very unique. So this came out in, like I said, 1988. Compilation of live from late 70s through mid 80s, and that's Frank Zappa guitar. That's my That's my second pick there.
Excellent pick, Mike. I love it. My next pick is a sentimental one, 1988, the year I was born. It has on it definitely a top 5 track for me of all time.
Mm.
Song of all time. Talk about a crowded
Wow.
list. And that is the debut from Tracy
Oh,
Chapman.
amazing. Amazing album.
Absolutely incredible. Fast Car, talking about a revolution. Baby, Can I Hold You? Fast Car is one of my favorite songs of all time.
Hmm.
I can't fully explain it. It just rips at me emotionally. There has not been a song in my entire 38 years of living where I have heard that song and wanted to change the channel or like change it, skip it, whether it's radio or on streaming or on the album. I am always excited when that song comes on. I think this album here is it. The song almost overshadows the actual album because that song is so big and so
It
popular.
is. Yeah.
But the rest of this album is incredible. I don't think it hits the heights of Fast Car, but if you look at this and compare it to what other people were doing in 1988, I think this is you could put this toe to toe with anything that came out in that year, anything
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
came out in the decade, and this can stand right next to anything you could put with it. It's just raw. It's emotional. It's got everything in it. It's well produced. I love the production on it.
Hmm.
But Tracy Chapman's debut and self-title is an absolute no skip must have for the 1980s. It's my third pick, Mike. What do you got for
Inc
us?
Incredible album that just recently got a repress.
Yeah, that
Much
was
needed repress.
it. Did I know that one was tough to find? This is the 35th anniversary, and it sounds incredible. So if you are shopping for that version, the 35th anniversary version of that, I think it sounds great.
All right, my next pick, my last pick here is also from 1988. I think you're
Love
pretty
that.
familiar with this album. Not a lot of people would think of this band as an 80s band. You definitely think of them more as a 90s band, but this came out in 1988, and it is Bad Religion Suffer.
I knew it was going to be Bad Religion, but I thought No Control. You could do either one.
So
Either
here's the
one is
funny
great.
thing. So yes, No Control. Both albums I think are no skip albums.
Oh,
No
100%.
Control
Easily.
is
Easily.
No Control is the only one I don't own. I'm still
Oh,
trying to
that's
get
right.
a
Yeah, you're
certain
holding out
particular
for the.
pressing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a particular pressing I'm still looking for that, so I don't own it yet. So I went with Suffer because I have it here and I can show it off.
Incredible.
And honestly, this is one of those albums that to me shows what a genre is about to become.
Yep.
So 1988, this is fast, raw, in your face. This
Yep.
is
It's
this is
punchy,
what
it's political, it's all the things that punk rock is going to be in the 90s. It's fast.
it.
The drumming is just going,
Oh
the
yeah,
power chords are flying. And that's not to say no one's done it before them, but
right.
Bad Religion took all of that cuz people don't realize Bad Religion goes deep. They started in the early 80s
Mhm.
and they took that and just plastered all paved the way for the Green Days, the Offsprings, the AFIs, all those guys that did
Oh
it.
yeah.
I mean, they did it and just paved the way for they kicked the door down for those bands to come in and do it.
Yeah, and I think that testifies to the fact that this is an 80s album, but people don't think of it as an 80s album because it sounds like what the future is going to be.
Yeah,
And like they
exactly.
were ahead of the time in it. And like you said, there were definitely other bands doing
Yeah.
this dating back to the 70s that were doing,
Yeah.
fast, raw, in your face type punk music. But to do it the way they did and still kind of have it be melodic but almost anti-melodic at the same time and
Yeah.
balancing the vocabulary that they were using
Yeah,
and just so many unique things that went to it. And you hear this type of album and you're like, if you'd never heard it before and music, you might pick it up and go, oh, this album come out in like 94, but no, 88. So
yeah,
it's 6
exactly.
years behind like when you might guess that it would be.
Yeah, and I think Bad Religion, what they did best is they took some of the best parts of the bands who came before them
Mhm.
and added their own little spin on it, which was the writing portion, like
Yes.
the lyrics. And they kind of mushed all the best parts together, added their lyrical kind of position, and then just took it from there. And that's what they did best. They just took the best and made it. And yeah,
Yeah.
excellent pick.
Yeah.
This is why I love doing these episodes. I'm listening to that literally the second we're done.
Yeah, it's interesting. Punk band is not a band that you would think you'd pick up and be like, oh, I need a thesaurus or a dictionary to understand kind of all the words that are going here. But I feel like I'm learning something. I feel like I'm being taught as I listen to it.
You are, my
Uh,
friend.
and and Bad Religion has that, and they're still going
Still
today, still
going.
going strong. Just saw them, I don't know, was it last year? I think we saw them, but
Yeah.
amazing, amazing band and a perfect no skip album
Yep.
that just doesn't sound necessarily 80s, but is
But
80s.
his 80s.
So
Yeah.
it qualifies.
Yeah,
It
no,
qualifies.
absolutely does. Excellent picks, my friend. Folks, what decade do you want us to do next? You guys picked 80s. We went 80s. Should we do 90s? Should we do 50s? Should we do early 2000s? You pick it right in the comments below. Comment with the most likes is going to pick what we do next. If you like doing no skip album content, like the video. It helps us know that you want us to keep making more of these things. And subscribe so you don't miss the next ones. Mike, thank you, my friend. Excellent picks. And folks, we're going to do more episodes of 70s and 80s. There's way more to
It's
do.
too
We
many.
couldn't boil it down to 6. There's like dozens and dozens. We're going to do more of these. We love doing them. Take care and be well.